boom, Drams on deck is back at you again. Now I got a nice new spirit right here. Well, it's not really new. It's the we got here, just so you can see. Got the Macallan Classic Cut Oloroso Sherry Cask. Now this particular one right here, I had got this about a year and a half ago. And I got this because it was like, I normally get the Mac 12. This was like, okay, like a sherry cask, similar as the Mac 12. I said, well, let me go ahead and give it a shot. And after I got it, I guess I realized that this particular version, which is the Classic Cut, kind of replaced the older version that Macallan did, which was called the Cask Strength. The Cask Strength came out much years earlier, before I probably got into the Drams as much. But for what other videos and what I've read, that most people prefer the older version, the Cask Strength, better than the Classic Cut. I've never personally had the older version, but nevertheless, I had got this one, and this is probably the strongest ABV wise of Macallan that I've had. This particular one is bottled at 58.4%, so it's a beast on the ABV. And this particular one, according to this one, is shared exclusively in oak cask Oloroso sherry. So this one here is different from the actual Mac 12. Initially, I thought that it was the same thing, but this is different right here. And as you can see, this is on the last leg. I've had this for, like I said, about a year and a half easy. So I wanted to do a review of it prior to me killing this bottle, because I don't think I'll buy another bottle of this. I like it. I'll give you my opinion shortly. But this is 2017 edition, so even if I did buy another bottle, I don't know if they have how accessible that particular year would be. Either the case, I wanted to basically do a review and show you my personal opinion of it. I actually poured a shot of it maybe about 5 minutes ago. I like to let it open up a little bit. And also, when I do partake in certain spirits that are pretty much high ABV, like this is ABV, I tend to like to put more water, just a little bit of water in it, to kind of bring it down a little bit. I mean, granted, I can take it, and it is palatable at 58.4. But for me personally, I think when I open it up, two things happen for me. Obviously, it has a punch to it. Obviously, it's strong, so it brings the punch down a little bit. It goes from a strong punch to a jab, if I'm making a metaphor. But also, the water opens up and releases a little bit more sweetness, in my personal opinion. So that's why I like to put just a little bit. Now I'll do that. I'll take it straight, and then I'll put just a little bit of water in it, just to open up a little bit. So I do both. So for me, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what I'm picking up on the nose. And believe it or not, it has a nice nose to it. Get some plums, probably a little sherry. Smells like like a wine, some sweetness to it. Just a little bit of nutmeg I'm picking up. That's a very pleasant smell, believe it or not. Just a little bit of ginger as well. And also, I like to put mine in chilled glasses. Some people use rocks or ice balls. I have those as well, ice ball per se. But for these particular high-end spirits, I don't really like to. I like to monitor how much water goes into it, and because I like to drink it straight. I like it chilled, but I don't like to dilute it with more water than I prefer. So that's why I pour just a little bit of water in it, as opposed to using balls where it can, eventually if you're sitting around it, it can start to melt a little bit more than I anticipated. So anyway, as we'll give a shot on the palate and go from there. I feel a little bit of that punch. That's the first shot. So typically, the first shot is the strongest one. But very, very, almost like a Christmassy kind of I feel like ginger, nutmeg, a little bit of vanilla, you definitely taste the sherry on it. I don't know exactly how long it's been aged. It doesn't necessarily per se an age statement on it. So I would imagine from some of the prior releases, it's been aged, I would say, at least 6 years. And it may have a mix of older and younger whiskeys in it too. So I don't we don't know exactly the age on it, but it tastes, like it could have a mix of it as far as age is on it. But nevertheless, it's not bad at all. Take another sip and I'm going to add a little bit more water, just a little water to it. Get a little bit of, what's that, toffee, ginger, a little nutmeg. And I feel that punch, that strongness to it. So add just a little bit of water. See if it opens up more. To me, I like it. Has some complexity to it. It definitely has a high ABV, so it's not a bad dram at all. This particular one, I want to say I got this for 90 bucks. I got this in a different state. Like I said, I got it a year and a half ago or so. So it was around 90 bucks. Depending upon where you go, you can tend to find it probably even more. It depends upon what store you go to, the prices. I mean, I've seen this as high as 120. So it really just depends. And if it's 2017 release, if they continue it and you can see it on the shelves, they might even have a higher price than that. But I got this for around 90 bucks, and this is shortly after it was released. Like I said, I do enjoy it. It's not bad dram at all. And usually, if I'm drinking this, I don't need to take as many shots per se before I start to feel it. Like one or two, and I'm pretty good because it's pretty strong. But I will say it's very palatable though. It's not like I've had some bourbons that's around that price, around that ABV, and I've tried and it just ugh. It's not the fact that it wasn't good, but I can just really feel the alcohol volume a lot more. This one is more subtle. I mean, it does have a punch to it, but it's not like to me a very harsh one per se. So I'm gonna try a little bit with the water now. Tastes slightly sweeter, but overall, it's very good dram. Now, if you're a fan of more, it has some sweetness to it, but if you like more sweet, to me, I think the Mac 12 is sweeter than this. So, if you're a fan of heavy sweetness and you're not much into high APVs, like it, some people don't like that. Some people like it more like 40%, which is a typical one. So if you're someone who likes it more sweet and softer, then this probably may not be your preference per se. It does have complexity to it, and I do think that the ABV definitely adds more character to certain spirits because it's not as diluted. But nevertheless, all in all, this is pretty good dram. I had this, like I said, about a year and a half. So if I had to rate this out of 1 to 10, 10 be the best. Based upon Macallan, I probably would give this around a 7.5, somewhere around there. It's not bad, 7.5. I think that's pretty good dram. Something I think it could warrant you buying again per se. I enjoy it. So I think that this release right here, the 2017 one, is it's a pretty nice one. I haven't seen any newer ones. I'm not saying they don't have them out, but I just haven't personally seen that now. But from what I heard of, the old cask strength version was better than this new version. I agree with that because I think that, not that I've had it, but nowadays they got the new Mac 12 that come in the black bottles, and I think, in my personal opinion, it's not the exact same as the Mac 12 that come in the old maroon boxes. I had them side by side. I can taste the difference. The newer ones that come in the black bottles, to me, it doesn't taste as good as the original Mac 12s that come in the maroon. So that's probably the same concept with this. The people who've had the old cask strength versus the new classic cut. Either case, it's a matter of preference. 7.5 for me. Boy Drams on deck. Signing off right now. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Out.